I'm figuring out things to do. This is very exciting times for me. All right, just making sure I don't have, okay. All right, happy. Welcome to the stream. Man, I got to turn this down. Very loud. How's everybody doing today? I hope you've had a good day. I have inconclusive. Well, we'll get back to that. I think I have. I'm not sure. Let's try this again. Oh, definitely so. I'm having a good day. Thank you, Magic 8 Ball. Witchcraft. Okay, so I've been a busy monkey. And in being a busy monkey, I still managed to get the page done and another page besides for my other thing. But the majority of my time in the last 24 hours has been spent rebranding everything. Rebranding. It sounds dramatic and exciting, doesn't it? Okay. So, yeah, I've got a couple things. Here is the new logo. Bing bong. There it is. I hope you like it. I did it for you. Yeah, so the stream is now called the One-Page Story Extravaganza. It's still, everybody wants to listen to my podcast, but I got this up on the screen now, so that's all very exciting for me. Also, I crazily updated my my website. Frankie says, I'm dropping in to say hi. Ton of comics to fold and cut for Saturday. Oh, that sounds good, buddy. I won't participate much, mostly listening while getting things done. Well, in that case, let me sing to you a love song of my people. No, we don't have time for that. Okay, so thanks for hanging out, Frank. I will do my best to entertain you while you work. Okay, so here's today's page. Today's page is a suggestion from the Kremlin. The Kremlin. Not the Kremlinator. No. People that were in one of his streams were chatting about what could be a one-page idea, and what they came up with was a art supply. Art students having a war epic battle with art supplies. So this is the start of it anyways. But I had all kinds of debates in my head going on about should I do the rulers? Should I fill the rulers in? But this is a fun page to do. The original for it is right here. Pretty much the same. I just cleaned up the edges, and after I scanned it and stuck it in the old robot. So there's our finished result. A little bit of enhancements going on in panels and gray tones and whatnot. And who's it and how's it now? How are you now? So, I'm pretty pleased with how this came together. I drew this with microball pens, or micron pens. What do you call it? What's your name? Micron. A 1 and a 5. And these are fun to do. No pencils, no nothing. Just get busy. You tizzy. So, yeah. So I'm pretty pleased with how that came together. And, I thought I'd get crack-a-lacking on today's page. A number of the things that I got sorted out now are my website's completely redone. And in addition to that, secrets. There you go. There's the giveaway. I've put up the new logo on everything. It's not me and Corbin, it's me and Baby. Because she seems to be spending more time in the studio with me than Corbin does. At least lately, anyways. How you doing, Gary? Welcome aboard, sir. So I rebranded everything. I've got the new logo up on the screen, and a new snap feature too. Don't be jealous. So this is up on everything now. This is the One-Page Story Extravaganza is I talked to a publisher finally yesterday, and not because of them, because of me. And so I finally talked to a publisher, and we're going ahead with putting the book out. It's going to be a 60-page hardcover, and So I'm wondering if anybody wants to be volunteers and help me sit down for a Zoom or a stream session here on StreamYard on it, not live, but privately, and just run through. I'm at 150. Well, I'm actually at 160 pages now, and just go through them and help me pick some stuff out. So if anybody's interested in that, please let me know. I would love to have you do that with me. That'd be a lot of fun. I gotta shorten it down, folks, to 56 pages, 60 pages, something like that, because I want to have a little pretty paper when you open the book, da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, Dee Dee, welcome aboard. How are you? So that's the second part of my news. First part being that everything is updated. So if you go on my website now, it's a whole different kettle of fish. It's not even the same base color system anymore. It's not even that. So check it out. Let me know what you think. The Instagram, Facebook, whatnot, logo image of me is now me and baby. And on top of that, I have set up a Substack. So there's I got a Substack going now. So if anybody wants to join the Substack, it's free. We'll be doing some stuff on the Substack that's a little bit different than what we're doing here. So it won't be everyday postings on the Substack. It'll be a weekly thing. And the first one's up now. I mentioned, actually, Frank and Dee Dee in it. So, because I talk about the 3 prompt suggestions from Dee Dee's, and I talk about the suggestion that Frankly had about superhero mail order scams. I think it was that the Hey Comics Kids, or Hey Kids Comics, whatever. So check that out if you're up for it. It's just my name under Substack. So that's eventually I'll monetize another tier. Do you know what I mean? So that people want the same stuff I do on Patreon, where I show all the originals and stuff like that. I'll do that eventually on Substack, but for the that's only for the people that want to buy into that tier. For the I've got that on Patreon now, again under my name, and so the whole idea of adding Substack to the whole mix is just another opportunity for when I can meet different people and get other people involved in the process. And listen to how this machine worked. It did it on its own. Let's see if I can get it to go down. Yeah, so if you're interested in checking those things out, please do. But one more shot. Ready? It's still, everybody wants to listen to my podcast. I just got this up on here because it's simpler. I'm missing a bunch of stuff. What am I missing? Everybody's saying hello to everybody else. Thank you very much, Dee Dee. I have not slept a lot. I went to bed at 12 o'clock last night, and I was up before 6 this morning for some reason. And I've been working all morning on getting stuff done. So I'm pretty pleased. Frankly wants to be on the volunteer list. I'll write you down for the list. Well, we'll have to figure that out with everybody's schedules, Frank. So we'll see who's interested in doing that, and then we'll sit down and look at. I'll do a private stream with whoever wants to come and hang out. And we'll just run through it. And yes, no, yes. That's pretty much all it is. Malcolm says, I have chronic insomnia myself. I don't have insomnia. I don't necessarily know what insomnia is, other than people don't sleep like they're supposed to. My entire life, I have slept 4 hours a night. So imagine that joy to be in my house. But and it's only after I started taking medication for my type 1 diabetes that I sleep 6 hours a night now. That's a lot of sleep. Yeah, that's why Lori and I go to retire to the sleeping chamber at different times. It's because, she's human and I'm... These are out of control today, these machines. Okay, so there's some of our little extra bibs and bobs. I also had a countdown today for anybody that was there at the start. Very exciting. What do we got? Oh, everybody's saying hi to everybody else. Frankly says, all my suggestions, yes. All of Gary's, no. Is that how it's going to go? For a guy who's not going to talk a lot, frankly. Faults on paper, fella. I'm being silly. Okay, so, so today we are on our new page. I just opened the book and grabbed the thing. I realized that I need to do that so that you're not seeing me go, hey, paper's work. And so we could just get cracking when I start the stream. So, bicycles on roller coasters. Mr. Scott Zirklin has done this to us. So, that's Scott's suggestion. Ah ha ha! You should do bikes on roller coasters. All right, let's do it. I don't know if anybody's got a chance to check out Scott's new YouTube vlog. What are they called? That's video. It's really good. It's really very good. So if you get a chance, go and check out Scott's new one, because he does gross things. And how does that not make the kids smile? Stickers. He does gross out stickers from the 1980s. He says he's doing stuff. He's reviving things from the 70s, 80s, 90s. And so there's a part of me that has to wonder, looking for him, found him. There's a part of me that has to wonder if he's going to do pet rocks as well. So I think that he should take pet rocks and do all kinds of designs on them. I'm not saying that in a sarcastic or smart alecky way. I think that would legitimately be fun. And Scott Zirklin's very talented, folks. So, all right. So bicycles on roller coasters. That's today's page. Now I just grabbed some pieces of cardstock, and the green one is twice as thick as the red one. So I thought that I would just sit down and start. Now I'm not sure how this is going to show up, so we're going to see how this works. But if it doesn't show up very well, then I'll have to retool this. But don't get that song stuck in my head. Jim just showed up and said, there comes our oh. So there we go. Welcome aboard, sir. Okay, so bicycles on roller coasters is today's page. I'm hoping, okay, so you can see it in camera. So I'm just going to start laying down, the basics of the panel. Now I've got different colored yellows and others, and just to shake it up today, just because, just got to keep it interesting. So yeah, so if you are interested in volunteering to just sit on a private stream chat and help me out by running through the pages with me to choose for the new book, I have to get that together to get submitted, and I have to get those chosen. And as soon as I had to sit down to choose, and I'm like, but I love all my babies. So I didn't, I wasn't very productive on that. But I was very, very productive on other things. So there's an excuse. Yeah, I got to get that put together and get it off to the publisher. And out it goes. And it'll be solicited through Ingram's. So it's a lot of very exciting things. I'm clearly excited. But at the same time, deep breaths, right? Okay, so first off, I'm drawing the bicyclist, and just getting down this character who is preparing himself to go down his run, and I'm going to set it up sort of like the the start of an Olympic bicycling event where somebody's at the gate and they're ready to go, and they just happen to be going down a roller coaster. So should be taking a moment to tell the kids, don't bicycle on don't go bicycling on roller coasters. It's as simple as that. If you're being pressured by your peers to do it, you just say no. Okay, so, and with that sensational piece of advice, today's music of choices are the Queens of the Stone Age. They've ruled for a while. If you get a chance and you're interested in some crazy music that all interconnects in a weird kind of way, there's a band called Oysterhead. Oysterhead is Les Claypool from Primus, Trey Anastasio from Fish, and Stuart Copeland from The Police. So if you can imagine, yeah. And then there's another band that I can't remember Them Crooked Vultures, which is Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age, Dave Grohl from the 90s music of all, and John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin. That's Them Crooked Vultures. So there's a couple of these really fantastic modern age creams. Cream was a band, Jack Bruce, Eric Clapton, and Ginger Baker, which is like a power trio from tons of other bands that got together and did Cream. But so it's the same kind of setup, and I really enjoy these bands. But Oysterhead, yeah. Oh my, what's this question? Send them question of the day. Who would you rather have dinner with? Bono, Britney Spears, or George Takei? Getting random all up in here. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's your question of the day, folks. If anybody wants to jump on in that, thank you very much for Mr. Lujan. Always coming in, throwing random questions at us. Jim did a pretty cool episode of Hey Man, how's your movie going? Where he talks about the production of his film project that he's on right now, and had pretty fantastic guest on here this week, and they talked a great deal about voice work and concerns about AI and how it's going to affect their industry, and I got to tell you, that's a cool couple of dudes. I sound very hip and wise, don't I? That's a cool couple of dudes. I was really impressed. It was a really interesting conversation. Okay, so here we go. We got our, no matter what, if you are a professional bicyclist, your ears always look like you have big ears because of the helmets and how the straps go right by your ears, and they just make your ears stick right out. So kind of like that. All right. Sorry for the flashing. There we go. So we got our guy started as he's surveying what's next. Let's see if this white is any more opaque. No. So I think I'm going to have to go to the jelly roll. You know what? Maybe. Okay. Bono, Britney Spears, or George Takei? Bono. Hands down. No contest. Not an ounce of contest on that one. There's no part of me that had to second guess that at all. But who would you rather have dinner with? Bono, Britney Spears, or a George Takei? Not the George Takei. a George Takei. That's okay. Which George Takei? Well, you'll have to tune in and find out. That's better. There we go. Okay. It's tricky. It's tricky, these here, the white image is going down. There we go. That's popping up better. Frankly, as a vote for Brittany. I mentioned that I would like to invite Mr. Bono for a dinner. Welcome to the house, Mr. Bono. And frankly said, hey, and then chose Brittany. So I like Bono on one side, Mr. Bono on one side. That's how I call him from now on. And his friend, Mr. Edge. And Sinead O'Connor on the other side. I don't know how you can eat those potatoes with all the suffering in the world. That'd be great. And if you get a chance, next time that you see Jim Lujan on any kind of video, anything, ask him to do his Bono impression. You know what? I would like to make an addendum. Can I just have Jim doing a Bono impression the whole time instead? Because honestly, I don't know how long I'd last for dinner with Bono. And it's only because as much as people are like, wow, that person looks A, B, C, D on the television or whatever, they might kind of be a pain in the bum in real life. So I would prefer to have Jim Lujan doing a Bono impression, please. And I'll call him Mr. Bono. And I will dress up as Young from Styx, and I will be Mr. Roboto. I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff. Got to pay attention here, folks. What are we doing? Hey. Diddy would pass. Oh. What about Jim Lujan doing a Bono impression, Diddy? Have you witnessed this? It's worth it. It's worth it. Please, Mr. Bono, stop clapping. Oh, well, that's an interesting dinner. What about the eating? I never heard about a chalupa. I can't imagine. Just start talking all Catholic. I don't know. I'm just going for the stereotypical Irish things. Don't you think there's enough suffering in the world? I can't do it justice. Jim Lujan does a far superior Bono impression than I do. So, okay. Well, I better just get down to drawing this cat here. Preparing himself for the ramp. You gotta have fun, folks. So the whole thing about these one-page stories that I've been doing now for a little bit of time is that more and more it's important to me for it just to be fun. And so if you, whatever ideas that people might have, don't, oh, that sounds stupid. I'm not telling them that. That's a stupid idea. That doesn't count. Please, feel free. I look forward to any kind of suggestion, and I'll try to make something out of it. As long as it's not, at someone else's expense. I've had a couple of suggestions that were like, dude, come on. Let me put it this way. Somebody's suggestion was a boomer blender. So, did you see that face? I couldn't even imagine that face that I just made. So you gotta have fun. So I haven't done the boomer blender. I have no interest in doing that one. That's when I sort of said, hey, I should cheer up. But I can understand many young people being a little disappointed at the housing market. Don't hate grandma and grandpa. one of the things that I keep doing on Substack is whenever it comes up about, hey, don't forget to subscribe, tell your grandma. You don't call our grandmas enough. We need grandmas. It's just the weirdest thing. I don't know where it came from, but that's what I've been doing. Should we just have a dinner with each other while everyone does impressions? Preferably with their mouths full. I want to sit right across from the person that does Al Pacino with their mouth full of something and doing an impression. Oh! Right across the table. So if anybody has a fun and fantastic new one-page idea, let us know. Let us know. And if anybody has, wants to do one of the one-page things that I've already done, please feel free to do so. Or one of the one-page things that somebody else has already suggested and that you've overheard that. Please feel free to do so. I would love that. I really would. There's no part of me that's like, that's my thing. Not an ounce of it. I'm all about people having fun. So if there's a page that you've heard mentioned and you're like, I want to do that. They said it for it to be kitties and that guy drew a dolphin. I'm doing my own version. Go for it. Please do. I would prefer that. I would like that very much. How much? Mucho mucho. Does anybody else have any secret impressions that they haven't really done publicly? That they want to mistakenly let me know about? As soon as I even started offering it, I realized, oh, don't tell me. Because I'll ask you for it. You do a good Danny Trejo. Let me see it. I have a friend of mine. Their whole basis of doing it, that's just too hot on my ears. Their whole basis of doing an impression is just basically saying a word or basically saying like the person's name. And that they have a Danny Trejo impression. It's basically all it is them saying machete. It's really bad. It's machete. Okay. No justice to that. I don't know how it is they do it. I can't remember, but that's all they do. That's their whole impression of Danny Trejo with all of that. That's this man's acting career. That's all they break him down to is one role. He's such a wonderful, distinct face, like just a distinct presence, that actor. I like when he shows up in projects. Okay, so we're getting that first panel in. Now I'll be doing little buffs and bits to it. I scared myself with that one. I had it in my pocket. I must have touched it with my elbow. I used to do Paula Deen, but after all her trouble, you just get woke responses anymore. Paula Deen? Really? Oh my gosh, Dee, that's so good. Oh, yeah. Paula Deen. I know somebody does that BAM guy. But Paula Deen. What a character. Let's throw a big old brick of butter on this. Isn't that Paula Deen? This needs a slab of butter. I can do, but I can do real Southern accent well. You got a little bit of a home advantage there, Dee. So here's a question. When you move around, this is for anybody that might know this, please feel free. When a person moves around, like say with the military, and they move, let's say, 30 times, how do you count where you're actually from? Is it where you're born, or where you spent the most time, or where you just feel rooted now? Where do you sort of say, because a lot of people say, I'm from New York, right? They're New Yorkers. But I'm from Boston, right? Those guys are Bostonians. But what do you do when you've moved a lot? What do you call yourself? A person. All right, what am I missing? Bono Walken, a new series coming to Netflix this fall. Bono, come on. Let's go to the store. How can we go to the store with all this hardship that people are facing? Oh, come on. That'd be a great show. I'd watch that for about 20 minutes. I'd watch at least 20 minutes of that. Oh, Diddy isn't laughing because I'm a goofball. Wouldn't you watch 20 minutes of Bono Walken? And they'd always have to have a song. They'd have to have a closing song. Completely artificial, too. Like the whole show has to be a sitcom, but then they break the fourth wall. And then end the show in a duet. Like just for no reason at all. You know, it's just this sort of contrived reality that they live in. What do you say? We close the show. Come on, it'd be the best. Didi says, I knew where I grew up, from Texas, but I spent more time in Georgia than Texas. I was born in Washington State. Washington State is on the complete opposite part of the country, is it not? Like, is that not by British Columbia in Canada? Like, is that not by Washington State's right? Isn't that right beside Oregon? Or I'm from Canada, so we don't really know. I'm actually getting a really good handle on where things are in relationship to one another. But Didi says, drum roll, yes. Do you like the new pop-up thing at the bottom so I can get your pretty faces in there too, not just what you're saying? Look at that. Look at that. That's Jim. Look at it. Yeah, that's Frank. Okay, he's looking worse for wear there. Oh no, it's a logo. Oh, phew. Just a second there. That's important. That stuff's important. I don't even know what mine. Where's mine? Now I gotta look. Oh, it's me and Baby. Both my cats are tabbies. Orange Viking cats. All right, so my whole idea here is getting our bicyclist scanning, the run, preparing himself, doing that whole sort of build up at the start of the event, and getting ready to throw themselves with reckless abandon down the side of did I say mountain? Nay, roller coaster. There's a really funny bit in the old television show, Mr. Show, that was with Bob and David, which is Bob Odenkirk and David Cross, Better Call Saul, and Tobias from the Arrested Development show. And so they have this one episode, and the framing structure of this entire episode is about a town being held hostage from the numerous reported deaths of this rather unsafe roller coaster that's really needs to be closed down. There's been a number of people that have died, but they're treating it more so like it's a in the sense of a national emergency where they've got people boarding up their houses and taking off until all the deaths diminish. And then there's one fella nailing boards up to those windows and saying, "I'm staying. I ain't afraid of no roller coaster." And so I can't hear the word roller coaster without thinking of that now. Thanks, Bob and David. If you'd never watched Mr. Show, you should try it out. They had some pretty great episodes. Brian Posehn started on that. Tom Kinney was on it. They had some pretty great shows. They also did some pretty controversial shows, right? But you don't have to watch those. Just turn them off. Diddy says, we drove through Canada. BC, the Yukon, on our drive to Alaska. Oh, nice. Did you see a lot of polar bears there, eh? Yeah. Oh, they're all over the place there, but they'll eat you there for reals, They'll turn you right over there, and not even how's your father or so. You're done. That is the stereotypical British Columbian Canadian accent, where people think Canada, and from people from Canada say a boot, they're talking about British Columbia. That's the only real place that does that. But because a lot of Canadian television shows are filmed in BC, you do hear it on television a fair amount. But the rest of us can say about, without stereotyping ourselves. So what does Jim say? Oh, he's doing his Bono. Can you hear it? Object poverty is like a roller coaster. Oh, there's no upside to it, Jack. Yeah, and we lived in an igloo in Alaska. We survived on a steady diet of blubber. %75% of people that have claimed that they've tried blubber have not tried blubber. Hey, Jim, your stream was fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was really cool. It's impressive the amount, the body of work that you guys have both been responsible for. I really want to see some of his art. I'm all excited about it now. I'm intrigued. Is there, off of anybody's memory, here's a random question. And I don't really expect this to be the case, but is there a specific page that anybody remembers that we've, of the one-page stories that we've done? Is there anybody that has a specific page that they would like to see be collected in the book? That might be an easier way to go about some things. Is there a certain page that was done that made you go, mm-hmm, yeah, mm-hmm? And was there a certain page that you've seen that you stop that? No. Is there a certain one that you say no to? Put that away. I like your recent FIL one. Which one's FIL? Is that the 3-word prompt one? Is that? Oh, the father-in-law. Nice. Oh, that's very nice. I'm happy to hear that. I really like that one too. I didn't want to post it on Father's Day because my wife had written a really nice letter about how, her dad taught her how to drive. It's really sweet. And I did not want to interfere with that. What kind of announcer should I have for the downhill bicycling competition? What kind of people should be the announcers for that? Should it be a couple of goobers, or should it be more of a professional commentator approach? I'm good with either one. Or maybe one of each. I'm not sure. So we've got one. I got to write these down because, my memory is up. So father-in-law, Depeche Mode Ping Pong, I think Jim has said. Depeche Mode Ping Pong. And he says, Emu in space. Yeah, feel free to, anything else that comes to mind, let me know. But I've got these ones written down already. Very excited. Thank you very much, Ken, for sharing some of those. Jim's biased. Oh, about the page. It's about the page. Yeah, that was your suggestion, Jim. That was a good one. And then the Emu in space is from three word prompts pulled out of a bag on DD Stream. So that was a really fun one to do. It could have gone so many different directions, and I always tend to take it in a weird one. That's why my friends call me Whiskers. Some I like better because of the art alone. Oh, that's nice. Scott Baio should be the announcer. Which one? Like both? Modern day Scott Baio and Chachi? Why not? Why not? Why not have Scott Baio and Chachi be co-announcers? You can't do that, Chris. You're breaking the time stream. Do what I want. You're not my mom. All right. So I'm pretty excited about finally getting that thing together. Feels good to finally have got off the butt, the old butt, as it were. Well, it ain't a young one. It feels good to sort of I got to do something now. I sort of instigating myself to get to it and get it done. But I'm really excited that it can be ordered hither and yon, far and wide, high and low. All right, so I've got a guy, and just let me put give him his knee. Let's have his arm raised up onto the old knee. Take a knee. It's fun doing the hands. The hands, I gotta admit, that's pretty fun. It's a fun part of it. But let's finish the break. That's a break. I think it's a break. My bike doesn't have brakes. Well, it does, but the pedal brakes, like you pull back, like like the bike did when you were a child. My bike is like that. I think it's called a fixed pedal system. Everything about my bike says, whether you like it or not, you're getting a workout. Because it's a California cruising bike. It's heavy frame because of my size. So my bike is large, very large. It's like larger than most bikes, and then very heavy. So, and it has no gears, so it's all about the pedaling. But you coast for forever in that thing. But of course, the second part of that is you got to go up a hill. You got to go up a hill. Try to plan your route accordingly so that you avoid all local hills. So as I'm doing this, I'm keeping notes for myself in my head about, because sometimes when you're drawing, it just sort of feels abstract, right? Well, that's a leg, and that's a this, and that's a that. So now as I come in with this other white and build it up a little bit, then it's important that I know why I keep this around. It's important that you know where your marks are going, so that when you're inking or whatever enhancements you're doing to it, you can remember, oh my God, what is that? What did I draw there? Sort of follow it fluidly and should be able to remember. So now I'm just doing a little bit of popping on the fingers here, a little bit of I'm missing some stuff. Oh, the peacock in the barber shop. That's that one, another one, Dean? I'll write that down. Peacock in a barber shop. That was a fun one to do. I just like the idea of one partner trying desperately to sell the other partner on something that's just completely dumb. So we're just getting his arm filled in here now. Yeah, I'm just trying to think about where I can go next with this. The knee. Yeah, the knee. Build up the knee. You get lost in your thoughts sometimes when you're drawing. You're just, I can go there, and then I can. Yeah. So apologize for that. I just try to visualize things. I don't know about how other people work, but when I'm working, I'm really trying to visualize how things go together and how light works on something, or things like that. So sometimes it helps to just to close your eyes for a second and imagine that. Let's get a little bit of highlight on the neck, the old neck ski. Another face. Let's see, I'll pull that up. Hopefully I'm going to do it slowly so it doesn't wash out. So here's her face coming together now on our basic list. And I've got some background down here at the bottom. Happy. Okay. All right. So there's our first panel. So the whole idea is to introduce our main character, right? In this case. The whale one was awesome for the art. The Get Back Out There. Is that the space whale one, or is that the whales? I think the other one's just called Whales and Fishes. The one that has fish in it too. Talking about how the whale thinks they're Mr. Big Stuff. I think that was Whales and Fishes. I'm trying to remember. Okay. A little more pepper on that. A little more spicy pepper. All right. Happy. It's always challenging. What am I? The one with the whale in the middle of the page, all in blues. Okay. I'll write that one. Get Back Out There. Okay, I'll write that down. Oh, that's the spaceship one. Oh, I'm glad you liked that one. That was a fun one. I really enjoy. I wasn't sure about this. The Posca brush paint marker at first. I really wasn't sure about it, but yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. Looking for a viable time-space pod was a great comic page. Yeah, because that's is that 3 or 4 pages? That's a 4. I think that's a 4-page thing. For a viable space time pod, space pod, time space pod, whatever it is. Yeah. One of my sons just sent me a meme that says, "I'm afraid of the Backstreet Boys," and then the other person says, "Tell me why." And then when you turn on the video, it's got a bunch of little gerbils doing a little dance, similar like the Groundhog Dance in Caddyshack. And they're like, nothing but a heartbreak, so. Universal Family of Monsters, like that one a lot. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I like that one too. Sam the Private Eye, Part 4. The book that you've got, Didi, has got 1, 2, and 3 in it. Those are drawn with a dipping pen. Those are dipping pen. Appreciate these, Didi. Anybody else that wants I like this one. This one, not so much. Anybody else that wants to if there's anything that stands out for you, then feel free to. No right or wrong answers. Scrolling through the fib. I think that means Facebook. All right. A little bit of a highlight. I'm trying to think of where the light hits in such a way as that's the highlight on the raised surface, but it's not like it's an opaque value, right? There we go. So here's a bicyclist coming together. Now I'll put down some black or whatever else it might be. Bad guys. A silly page that I've always enjoyed is Jelly Beans. It's the one that point counterpoint. It's got the tennis rackets at the first panel. It's one of the earliest pages, one of the absolute first few, and of this year. And there's just something about that one that, people just having all these guys arguing over jelly beans, where really the page is not talking about jelly beans, but it was just so fun. I mean, that's one that was such a curve in it. I really, really enjoyed that. So, all right. So I've got the first thing of the bicyclist here. So now it's just a case of trying to figure out where to go next with this. I think I need to draw a roller coaster. Is what I think I need to draw. Actually, you know what? Why don't we do an announcer? Let's get Scott Baio in here. What are we at? 54 minutes. Thanks everybody for tolerating me going through the announcements at the start of this about some of the things that are happening. It's quite a lot of work, and so yeah, I appreciate that people like it. So Yeah, I think I need to do Boulder Scott Bio and Chachi. Got to do some Chachi. I found my Scott Bio picture I'm going to do. It's this one. You know, blah, blah, blah. So one of the wonderful things I like about scanning pages is that I can flip them, right? I can flip the page to go the opposite way. Why don't we do this? Let's try this. I got some red cardstock and some green cardstock. Why don't I keep doing the announcers in like do the announcers in red and do the regular page in green, like the things that are happening in green, and switch back and forth? Does that make sense? Or should I'll draw it in green, and then when he starts going down the ride, it switches to red. Which one? Yeah, okay, so I need to do Scott Baio at this point. First answer wins a picture. Just have to make sure that you email me your address so I can mail you a picture if you get the right answer. So if anybody that's here, the question of, that wasn't here for at the time, the question of the day is, who would you rather have dinner with? Britney Spears, Bono, and somebody else. I can't remember already. Let's see. Why don't I scroll up? That's not too hard. Oh, George Takei. George Takei. Yeah. I want to draw in red now. It's tricky to plot the release of a project because you don't want to do a disservice to your friends by having it interfere with the promotion of their projects, right? But one of the things that I was talking about with the publishing person there, was making sure that when the book is set to come out, if you've got a strong peer group that is also working in the same thing, maybe try to plan it a separate time. No, what do we got? I think I would say George Takei. No interest in having dinner with Spears, and Bono would probably be interesting, but I don't suspect he'd want to talk big issues and world events I don't know very well. George has a great life story and seems charming. Wouldn't it be a fun dinner sitcom to have those people around the table, though? Like, you're not picking one, you're just all three around the same table. That would be ridiculous. The area I've no desire to have lunch to talk with activists, and all of them would. Are they all activist types? I don't know. Let's put it this way. Whoever I'd sit across the table with, it would be an experience for them to have the most inane questions that they've ever been asked by me. Where do you get your little Irish shoes? Do they have the shoes in it? I'd be like Fred Willard. Does anybody remember Fred Willard? Hey, this is great. I'm having a good time here. Hey, in Ireland here, has anybody ever really seen a leprechaun? Like, do you got them running around the back of your house there? Boy, I'd sure like to see one of those. That'd be swell, wouldn't it? It'd be like that. That'd be me. Let's be honest. Fred Willard has always been a guy that I kind of don't like because it strays a little too close to home. You know what I mean? Like whenever he shows up and stuff and does his shtick, every time I'm like, it's the same shtick. But every time I'm also like, that's what I sound like. I'm pretty sure of it. Hey, look at these dogs over here. Now, they all have tails, don't they? Yeah, most dogs come with tails as far as I remember. Like that, that's what I mean. So, Bono, is your friend really named the Edge, and is he sharp to stand by? Like, have you, and you got a cut from him? And, you gotta walk around with Band-Aids all the time around that guy? See, that's what I'd be doing. Britney Spears. Now, you would have thought you got a career in scuba diving with a name like Spears. I'm just saying, you're underwater, and I've seen it on television when they lance the fish. Are you a big fan of fish? Like, I guess what I'm saying is, don't invite me to a dinner party. That's what you're going to get. Your Willard is delicious. That's a tragedy. It's almost not an impression. Is the problem with it? It's almost not an impression. I'm pretty sure that to my kids, I probably am Fred Willard. To anybody that spends X amount of time with me, hey, wouldn't it be great if we just drew some comics that have ducks in them? Let's just do a whole bunch of ducks. What do you think of that? Quack, quack. Oh, it'd be funny. Hey, look at me. I'm a duck. And the other duck could say, hey, I'm a duck too. Yeah. All right. Enough of the Fred Willard impression. Get to work, Jack. See, I wish I could figure out how to animate. I wish I could just get my stuff together and learn how to do animation, because I would do the dumbest animations ever. And I would purposely do things where I could have Fred Willard walking through a scene just to do that. Have Richard Mall appear in the scene. Nobody knows what Richard Mall is. I'm just going to leave that up there. Thank you very much, Jim. Thanks, Jim. I have argued politics since Jimmy Carter. I found most people have made up their minds on politics, and those that have made up their religion, well, just get over it. Speaking of religions, there's whole groups of people out there in remote places. I don't know. There's a jungle involved. I know that much. And they're all like, hey, listen, this is my whole scene here in the hut. Gosh, and those guys have got it all figured out. But they'd be a heck of a boring person to talk to about politics. Clarify, you would do the second dumbest animation. No, I promise you, it would be the dumbest. These days, green is the new religion. I avoid them. See, I like green. That is maybe... Okay, I'm going out on a limb here, Jeannie. But green might be... I don't know if it's a religious experience, but it might be the best REM album. And yeah, I really like that record. I really like the record. Wait a minute. I think I'm taking that wrong. Green is new religion. Like salads, people are eating a lot of salads. I could just do this all day long. Swan, swan, hummingbird, hurrah. Lose it. One of my kids told me that they were vegan when they were going vegan. And you can just imagine the questions that I was asking that are so obtuse. Like, just so fantastically obtuse. So what does that mean? Like, you don't eat any meat at all? Yeah. Yes, nobody's going to invite me over. You sleep in a hotel when you come to this place, man. I love people like that, though. By the way, I love people that are blather like that. Gary says, I generally don't mind listening to people talk religion as long as they're not feeling pinched. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like talking theology, not arguing religion. Jim says, I love everybody. Literally, I'm on ecstasy. Help me. Please help me. It's good. It's so good, Jim. I like to do this. This is how I like to talk. Jim Lewin has been tripping since 2007. This is how I like to talk religion at the table. And it's the only place to talk it. Is I just let somebody talk for a while. I look at them like this. And then wait till they're finished. Or they pause at me with a question and I say, you're wrong. That's it. Best if I don't explain it too. It's always best if I don't explain it. Sheesh, bless your heart. By the way, Gary's demons had helped me, and that is a legal fact. Do you have a demon? Do you have a demon on your shoulder? Do you have a little magical muse or sprite that sits there and inspires you? Gives you the old inspiration there, you know? Gives you the, the chutzpah. Get up there and do what you need to do. See, Norm McDonald is good for that, too. Help us. That's what the demon said. Sorry to miss you, demon. Help me get me off this guy's shoulder. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Us, Jim, plural. Our name is Legion from here. So when I get a kick out of these comedians that do this sort of rambling sort of bit, I think the best one, hands down to me, has got to be Norm MacDonald, right? Like, that man has a 20-minute bit about serial killers that is, quite honestly, you forget what the bit is about 2/3 of the way through it. You forget what the whole point of this thing is. But it's plainly one of the funniest bits that you wouldn't. Normal people wouldn't think like this. Normal people wouldn't think like his comedies do. I never got to the bottom of the weird voice. It's an unsolved mystery. I think it's the air escaping your chair. Solved! Here's what you need to do, Gary. I need you to turn on the camera. And while you're doing your next stream, just keep sitting down. And let's just hear what cries of torment might appear on the back of in the back of the room in the microphone. Lean, right? Right? Who knows what that chair will say? Help us! Let me out! Huh? Cries of pain and anguish like a man stuck in an elevator. Oh, the door's closed on my face. Yeah. That's right. No shame in public. This is the slowest moving drawing that I have ever done. Uh-oh, here we go again. Quick survey. Who out there has heard the clip that we were referring to of Gary's demon? I love my 25-year-old squeaky chair. I love my squeaky chair. I really do. And every time I go, I got to put some WD-40 on that sucker. And I don't. Why? Because it's like it's talking to me. Hey, Chris. Thank goodness you lost some weight, huh? Did you hear that? They're referring to Gary's Gary did a stream last weekend, and randomly, as he shifts to the left, and then he leans back, like he sort of raises himself up and leans down, and then you can hear pause in the background, which is why I think it's his chair. And if it's not his chair, it's something that's on top of his chair. Either way, it's coming from his seat. We ruled out my chair and also me making a bizarrely loud creeping inhale sound. No, you can't just rule that out. I miss the weird sounds, Dee Dee says. Well, that's the whole stream, Dee Dee. It's definitely not a chair. A chair is squeaky, but not one of those piston chairs, which is why I say it's what's on top of the chair. Crying in anguish to be released, to be set free. I think there was a Queen song about that. Maybe it's Freddie Mercury. Chris is the guy who would let the kids still go swimming on Amityville Beach. Oh, come on, they'll be okay. Swim in the shallow area. Swim in the shallow area. They can't get you in the shallow area. Wall Street. I love you too, Jim. Chris would kayak through the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah. Not the whole way. Gosh, I'd be tired from all the paddling. You want to paddle through the whole Bermuda Triangle, do you? Huh? No, Mom. What time are we at? 1:13 already? Honestly, don't know. What's odd is I think I would have noticed it at the time. Unless it's like the little man inside your mouth that you couldn't hear, right? You know, like one of those things. I can't get out. Like those Bigfoot photos seen after the fact. Bigfoot went right through this here foliage, as you can see over here to my left. Well, it's gone now. But you see how these trees are broken? There were no raccoon. Chris one said, just open up the Art Dr. Belarus. It's the worst. Exactly. Our photos were afterward. They say, is that a ghost in the background? My favorite is the Ancient Alien guys. I love the Ancient Alien guys, specifically David Hatcher Childress. There's that Georgiopoulos guy. He's just hair. But the other guy goes, what could have happened to build these large objects that you see over here that are much too large for humans to be? Building those, could it have been giants or some sort of extraterrestrial race? And then when you watch Ancient Aliens, every episode, he takes that long to say pretty much the same darn thing in a different way. Who could have built these dolmens that are littered around the entire world? And these weird pauses and gasps. I love that guy. I love him. I've read all of Childress's books. His voice has changed over the years. When you read those books, I hope you read them doing an impression of Childress. Did you know that the first Ancient Aliens video of the Ancient Alien guys, the first real video of it. Not talking about Unsolved Mysteries or whatever the one was that Spock did. Charlton Heston did one about perhaps there was a super race many years ago, right? And he cuts over to David Hatcher Childress, the prominent archaeological interest, David Hatcher. Yeah, it's so good. Bigfoot is a slur to my people. We prefer Sasquatch. Sasquatch. Yep. Yeah. You're not gonna fool us Yeti into calling it the Bigfoots. No. Up north we call it the same Sasquatch. Sasquatch. I did a Sasquatch book last year. There's a lot of blood in it. That was my mother-in-law's takeaway. It's very violent. If she only knew, huh? This nose seems so massively disjointed because of it just being this flat white without any of the, the raised values on it. So because it looks a little crazy. Crazy girl. Yeah. I'm missing a bunch of stuff, aren't I? Nope. Okay, we're doing all right. I like that there's a bunch of AI pages that are doing doctoring old photographs and putting Sasquatches in them and stuff, and aliens going into secret bases and Antarctica, and here's real photographic evidence. Clearly an AI doctored photograph, and they're so good. They're so good because they're so bad. I'm just saying, go one way, the other, but lean into it. All right, here we go. Carrie's question of the day. Pick the thing that you'd be most excited to find out is 100% real. Bigfoot, Roswell, ghosts, Bob Ross. That's a good one. Oh, stepping it up. How about alien ghosts? Huh? How about Richard Dreyfuss? No, the character. How about we find out that there's actual people that have been picked up and taken away in alien spaceships, and now they're coming back to tell us all about what it was like on Trimbalaphador, where they were kept in a human zoo. Yeah, dressed as Sasquatch. There are some video games that have come out this year that are all about small towns being harassed by gray aliens, and you've got to try to save your child and get the heck out of there, and things like that. Try not to get probed, and they look into it in some of these videos that show you some of the coolest sci-fi games of the year that are coming out this year, because some of these alien ones, they are nuts. They are nutsy. 100% real. Jim says, I'll take Roswell for 500. Give me UFOs all day. All day? No way. Forget it. I've seen Battlefield Earth. No way. Huh? It's not the apocalyptic part of it. It's John Travolta's speeches. Forget it. I do think that they're interdimensional beings. Call them what you will. What are you talking about, Didi? Who told you those were real? What's Malcolm say? Why aliens, Jim? Wouldn't that be fun, huh? Wouldn't that be fun if it turned out I was a human? You guys would all find that acceptable, right? Right? You guys would be all okay with that, huh? By the way, I read Christopher Sasquatch book and it's a scurry. I have no doubt there's life all over the universe, whether it's been here. I'm agnostic. Jim picks aliens because dramatic pause, because I want to believe. I ain't believing nothing. That'd be a fun comic to do. You know, aliens coming down on your farm. Buddy, you're looking weird. You know that? Like, just, come on. How fun would that be? You're looking a little picky there, fella. Huh? You're not getting enough vitamin C. I just like the idea of an alien invasion or an alien visitation coming across the completely worst people that they could possibly they could ever come across. You know, like I love you down in California and the like, but come on, the stereotypified Californians meeting aliens. Now, how you doing there, bud? So you fly her in a spaceship? That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. I got like a spaceship. I want it. Hey, how much for your spaceship, bud? My babe wants it. Come on. That'd be great. Come on. Human numbers. Come on. Give me human numbers. How much you want? You charge it? Can I charge it? Oh my God, what's he doing to you, Bobby? He's probing me. I'm getting probed, babe. Come on. I'd watch that. It's like I just kind of basically want bad things to happen to people. But frame it in a sitcom and it's acceptable. Sasquatch erotica is a weird genre of Canadian romance. That is terrifying. Where would one find that? I'm asking for a friend. That is a terrifying idea. The Sasquatch male snort into the air, taking a full nozzleful of the aphrodisiac scent of the female across the way. She lovingly dashed some leaves about her on the forest floor. Like, what would that be? Pretends to be totally unfamiliar. Yeah, there's a book. A wink. That'd be really interesting, to tell you the truth, because I cannot, for the life of me, imagine how you would go about doing that, and at the same time, it being in any way romantic. Gronk, said Muckluck over to her potential mating partner. Gronk, she said. He looked at her with a wistful eye. Snork, he said in response, and threw some feces at a tree. This thing's never going to get broadcast because I just said that. Just the whole idea of Sasquatch erotica, it just sounds to me like, kind of like a theme for a Ween album or something. There's one of my favorite songs for you. Here's a real insight into what correct my brain is. One of my favorite songs that I can listen to any number of times. Sit me down in a room and tie me to a chair and play this over and over again. I won't mind. There's a song called Push the Little Daisies by Ween. If you get an opportunity, please look it up. Push the Little Daisies by Ween. It goes something like this. Push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up. And scene. Dee says, well, I read Genesis 6. Other things have been written. When I visited Phoenix, Gary tried to get me to go to this Harry Potter adult bar. Bring your own one. I said, no, Gary. Great response. That's such a great response, Gary. Prude. Oh, somebody's afraid of putting his wand out in public. Many an out-of-context, awkward conversation in the Harry Potter world. You're never going to meet somebody at these events unless you get your wand out. Just flash it around. I promise you some lady's going to come over and see if she gets a look at that thing and says, oh my goodness, I'm intrigued. There's a whole second part to that about the mother saying, do a transmutation spell. But that part that's not as funny. That part's not as funny. Gotta get this hair right. Wand jokes write themselves, really. Oh, they really do. Like everybody that has just read what you just wrote, Gary, their brain just exploded with really tawdry wand jokes. Every person that read that probably just went, oh, I can't take that. I can't take that one. Nope. Those are inside thoughts. Keep them inside here. All right, starting to come together now. It'll make a little more sense once I get those bigger highlights on his face, but because right now it kind of looks like, not Scott Pye. Not Scott Pye. What are we at? 1:30. Well, let's put a little pizzazz on this kid here. Let's have a little go with this here, man. Do a little bit of business around his face here. All right, we got all kinds of these questions coming today. You're on a 9-hour flight. Only one movie you can watch. Pick The Godfather, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Mean Girls, or A Fish Called Wanda. Which one do you choose? Well, it's not going to be The Godfather for one reason only. Michael! Sonny! Out. Not going to be that one. Mean Girls is in the competition for me. That's an important film. It talks about mating habits and pack animals and behaviors near the watering hole. I find that very intriguing. 2001, way too much dialogue. Didi says, probably 2001. However, The Godfather is the closest movie to the book I've ever read or seen. Yeah, it is pretty ding-dong-dang close. I'd have to disagree with Chris here. I think Godfather's the way to go. For one, it's long, will burn up a lot of flight time. Two, moves, well, 2000 is great, but a little sleepy. Depends on how close you sit to the screen when that whole light effect goes off. You won't sleep for days. Days. All those little vignettes of his face as he's freaking out looking into those lights is a real deal. You just got to sit really close. Commit to it. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one for me. Because saying that it's playing for 9 hours doesn't mean you're actually just sitting there watching it, right? I tend to constantly draw while I'm doing other things. So, Didi says, isn't that what you want to do in a 9-hour flight? Sleep? Some people do. Some people can. I flew to BC once, and I just sat there looking out the window the entire way there going, wow, awesome, cool. 8 hours. Went around my chair, loved it. They loved it. I kept looking out the window going, wow, look at all the people out there. Wouldn't it be great if they were really that small? Hey, like, could you imagine that, you suddenly got bigger when you went up in the air? Wouldn't that be a neat thing? What's the longest flight anyone's been on? 9 hours sounds dreadful. I think my longest is 5 to 6. I flew from London to BC to pick up a friend that was in duress, to turn around 4 hours later and get back on an airplane and fly back to Toronto to drive to London, to have only been gone for 24 hours. However, I was actually gone for 26. 4 hours of that 26 was not flying. That was some fun stuff. Didi flew to Germany in 1970, but she forgot how long it was. But boy, were her arms tired. Yep, you're welcome. I had to get it out there before Gary tried to do it. 7 hours. First class airlines to London. Counting LA to New York was 6 hours, so I don't know. Virgin Airlines, eh? Whoa. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I hope you put on like your most fantastic virginal outfit. Did I mention it was first class? My little sister and I flew alone from San Antonio to New York City. Changed planes in a military hangar 9 hours later. Oh my gosh. Then on to Germany. Time we at? I got to be sensible here. I got a couple more things I got to do today. So while I'm thinking of it, let me express a couple more things. In case you weren't here at the beginning. Now, I don't go back and watch videos that I've already joined in on because I don't know, watch them again. Oh, did I mention it was the very first class? Super secret about first class? They make you sit in a wheel well. It's chilly, but you got a hell of a view. Okay, so before I forget, right? I'm not signing off as yet, but before I forget, if you weren't here at the beginning, this is the new logo that I'm putting on the things now. I'm branding everything as this, and so that's up and then I've completely retooled my website, christopherrunsman.ca. Please check it out. Give me some feedback. I've got pages that in the scroll bar that if you just click on those pages, it's just tons of panels of upcoming books. And so I've got at least the first 6 pages of Stream of Conceitedness and the first 6 pages of A Village Haunted are up on that. And I'm going to keep adding to them. So then at the same time, I've got the Substack set up now. So if you're interested in, it'll be a different stuff that's going on Substack. And if you're interested in that, please check it out and see what you think on that one. Things are happening. Getting a lot of stuff done right now. And I need volunteers to help me go through the 150 pages to choose the 60 to go into the book. And what's that book called, Chris? Well, I'm glad you asked. I think it's going to be called One Page Story Extravaganza. I'm missing good stuff over here. Jim Luan put himself in a crate and claimed to be a Doberman. Flew in cargo. He got fleas. Love that new logo, Christopher. Thank you, Dee Dee. Yeah, it's we're just trying to get stuff tooled up here. It's the stream is still technically called Everybody Who Wants to Listen to My Podcast, but I'm just trying to get a unifying branding going. It was something that was suggested to me by the person that I was talking to on the phone yesterday about that new book. So, is this starting to look more like Scott Bio now? I don't know if people can see it yet, but still laughing at Gary's Doberman comment. Well, a flight like that's pretty rough. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm sorry. Excuse the comments. iPad loves the ad. It just wants to be a part. That's all. it's tricky to draw things where you're like putting it down as all flats first, because without the line art, because then it just looks kind of foreign to the actual image you're trying to represent. So it's kind of strange, but once you get to a different point, you start to see how the drawing's coming through. The camera's on a crackadoo angle. That's what's going on. This is not making any sense. My eye! Okay. So, yeah. So if you're able to help me with some of that stuff, and oh, yeah, Gary, I'm going to message you later. I ask you about something else before I forget. I'll write that down. Gary. Gary! All right, so now I'm getting Scott. I feel like I'm getting Scott Bio coming through now. I feel like I'm channeling Scott Bio. Yeah, I'm going to do a Chachi version. The two hosts are going to be Scott Bio today and Chachi. Modern hip references for the kids. One of the best jokes ever is in Arrested Development, where the family fires Barry Zuckerkorn as their lawyer, Barry Zuckerkorn being played by Henry Winkler. And they hire a new lawyer whose name is Bob Loblaw, and played by Scott Baio. And they said, we really appreciate you coming in and replacing Barry. He's like, it's not the first time I've done this. All these jokes, all the jokes are relating to the whole Fonzie Chachi connection. It's pretty funny. What do we got? Charles in charge when they shot down Kennedy. Charles was in charge when the banks robbed citizens. Bloody Charles in charge of anarchy. Yeah, I don't blame Didi for not wanting to sit across the table from that guy. I notice you're eating peas there by the spoonful. Get out of my house. I liked you better when you were Cher. You haven't been good at all musically since you and Cher broke up. Now get out, Bono. The whole time you have him over for dinner and you can misconstrue which Bono you've got there. You think it's Sonny Bono. I watched that show. All right. Well, I'm spending so much time drawing Scott Baio. It's almost like he's dreamy. That theme song for Charles in Charge was I always found that a little creepy. But I don't think I ever understood the situation on that show. Why was he in charge? Where were the parents? Why were they leaving their kids with that guy? Scott Baio as Charles in Charge was the Bill Cosby for the Italian Americans. I don't know. What's the shortest flight anybody's been on? Has anybody got on a plane and went, why did I do that? Has anybody gotten a plane that basically it felt like as soon as you got on the plane, you were just, you're about to get off the plane. You spent more time embarking and disembarking for the plane than you actually did on the plane ride that you went on? Because that's what it's like flying from London to Toronto. Oh, channel to the handlers here. Welcome aboard. Shortest flight I've ever been on was 4 feet. Kept hitting the bushes. Very uncomfortable. Welcome aboard, channel to the handler. All right, where are we at? 4 feet. I can't get over that. Is your plane made out of wood? You know what I'm strangely in the mood to watch now because of some of the conversations we've had today? I'm thinking of watching Top Secret. Don't tell anybody. Top Secret. I was just about the missing sub. They found what was left of it. That's not a good sound. Saw that. That's not a good thing. That's too bad. Giant squids. I'm telling you. Giant squids. Piloted by Sasquatches. You know who else died recently? Jerry Springer. That's all I'm saying. There's a debris field down near the Titanic in the tail section. So it must have been like the pressure thing that the pressure was too much on the little sub. I couldn't believe that they were down there doing it in the first place. Yeah. So Philip says Top Secret. I haven't seen that in ages. Managing that company is already doomed, but once the lawsuits start filing in, oh yeah, you bet you. Yeah, we live in a highly litigious society, that's for sure. $250,000 to put yourself in absolute harm's way. There's no guarantees your safety's down there at the bottom of the ocean. Pressure alone. Why do submarine captains complain about stress? Because the pressure on their job is enormous. Well, it can be. Just when you think you're at the top of your career, you can really take a dive. Yeah, I know. Just stop it, Christopher. No. CEO was one of the victims. Oh, boy. Well, I guess he doesn't have to worry about getting sued. All they talk about online is about how they wanted to stop hiring so many old white men. What? Gary says, 5 watchers, 2 likes. What the hell does that have to do with anything? You want the best person for a job. That's all it is. That's what's the most important thing. I learned that from a documentary I watched called Aliens vs. Predator. You want the best person for the job. I wonder who is running this expedition. See, that's a good Hollywood TV movie line. They're lost. I wonder who's running this expedition. I haven't followed it very closely, but it seems something about a guy who quit after raising safety concerns. Jim says, some of my very best friends are very old white men. You mean me, right? You're talking about me? Oh, is this what we're doing now? Is that what we're doing? Okay, so here's our Scott Bio guy. And I'll do the young version of Scott Bio as well. But, see, here we go. We got Gary to say it. That's what we're doing. Yeah. Just imagine that over the airwaves of submarine. That's what we're doing, huh? All right. Jim saying trademark 2023. I got a little bit of cleaning up to do here, but we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, I'm going to click on for now. Thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out. I got to get some chores done around the house here because, that's kind of what I do. So, yeah, if you got a one-page idea, send it my way. If you want to check out any of the things I told you about today, the Substack or what I've done to the website, I can use some feedback. And other than that, I will be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and I will see you then. Hopefully. Yeah. In the meantime, have a great day. Get out there and get creating some stuff. And see that? There it goes again. Just keeps doing it on its own. High five. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.